Yeah. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. All praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahah Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well, to the elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners, whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father, and have come back to the fold, Shalom. To your sisters, your Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. This your brother Aram Yahawada with the lesson. And as you can see, this is a Miami Herald, right? And it's talking about our brothers, the Levites, over in Haiti. And this is, and as you can see here, it says Rubio's plan to destinate Haitian gangs as, the T word, right? As you can see, could deepen humanitarian crisis, right? Because, you know, they planned on not treating you as a human being, right? This is definitely uh, the beginning of them ramping up for the time of Jacob's trouble, right? As you could see, right? Especially to just outright label you, right? The T word, right? Which this is really comes from the elite, the self-proclaimed so-called white men, right? The Bilderbergs, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Oppenheimers, right? The Rothschilds, the Clintons, right? Because they were all over there, and they're all about that, right? Rape, rob, and murder, right? And then pretending to be humanitarians and pretending to like they're looking out for these people's best interest when you have no business being over there. You definitely don't have um, there's no business of having the Kenyan military or police officers over there, right? They come from a different country, and even at first their own judicial system had declared it inhumane and unlawful for them to send. Then they turned around 6 months later and sent them anyway, right? It says in the areas of Haiti controlled by gangs, nothing moves without their getting a cut. Not food, not fuel, not even humanitarian aid. Right? Because your humanitarian aid always comes with, well, we can look it up. The UN is supposed to be humanitarians, right? The one with the blue helmets. But there's several cases of grape and abuse. The Red Cross is supposed to be humanitarian, but there's several accounts of grape and abuse, right? And we seen what happened to the Indians, or what you call Indians, which are really our brothers Gad and Reuben, right? So-called Seminole Indians, right? We seen what happened to them after they gave you humanitarian aid, and then you killed them, and then you made treaty after treaty after treaty, thousands of treaties, and you broke every last one of them, right? So we they're just not being fooled, right? And even this, you're throwing this on your paper to make it to to go, oh my God, look how bad they are, but they're not telling the backstory of how the Clintons went over there, promised that they would help them, and basically took their resources and left them poorer than they were before the Clintons got there. Then they did it again under what was, I forgot what hurricane, but there was a hurricane, something that hit. No, it was an earthquake, right? And they, oh yeah, we need to go help Haiti. They had this great earthquake, so on and so forth. Went in there and took more minerals, more things, right? Right? is Iranium, right? Second largest or the largest. It's either the second largest or the largest. I think it's the second largest from what I've seen. In Iranium, which is worth 3 times more than gold. So, what do you think that the self-proclaimed so-called white man, right, who is Esau Edom according to the Bible, right, according to prophecies, and also his you know his characteristics that the Lord said the devil would have, right? Yeah. So it says their extortion racket is so extensive, right? But who's the ultimate extortioner, right? Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man. He's about to extort everybody in the whole world and try to get you to extort you to the point that you cough over your soul, right? You get a crappy meal, but not even you get a crappy deal, but not even a happy meal under this one, right? You get beans, you get lentils and bugs, is according to what they're saying. You will own nothing and be happy. You're extorting the whole world with this with the tariffs, and then you're making it look like it's because you're fighting with China, and really this is all, it's all an act. It's all an act, man. It's ordered to shut down the supply, to force everyone into submission, right? To extort them, right? The highest level of extortion. You really extort the souls of men, right? That's what it tells you in Revelation 18, that they will have the bond and the free and even the souls of men, right? And that's how you're gonna have the souls of men, by having that charagma, that RFID micro C hip, right? The bio wallet, right? So it says that the country finance minister Alfred, yeah, you don't trust a nigga named Alfred. You know what I mean? Alfred Metellus et, ex, estim, estimates that gangs which charge 2,000 to allow passage for shopping containers are pulling as much as $75 million a year. Man, you're lying. They're the poorest people. Come on, bro. Have you have you seen what they show you of the gangs on TV? Have you seen it? Right? Even though it's all smoke and mirrors, even what you show us, that ain't 75 million. They ain't got 75 million. So these are all lies, man. But this is what they like to tell you from the ransoms they charge to allow goods trans sin transing transiting through transit transiting through the Dominican Republic to arrive at their destination. Mentelis made the comment in an interview this week with Haitian I don't know how it's La Nouvelle, it's the newspaper. I don't know. Let's see if we can, this thing will tell us. Le Nouveliste. Le Nouveliste newspaper. So this is what, which these are all bootlicking jakes, and that's in Esau's pocket telling BS, right? But this is what they're trying to say, right? But this is all finna bring in Jacob's trouble, because also this is the Southern Kingdom, right? Yeah. So here's the Northern Kingdom, right? So about to come, this about to definitely kick in Jacob's trouble. CNN, Trump's administration considering labeling suspect, some suspected cartels and gang members inside the U.S. as enemy combatants, which is like the same thing of saying the T word, right? It's the same thing, right? So the Trump administration has been examining whether it can label some suspected cartel gang members inside the U.S. as enemy combatants as a possible way to detain them more easily and limit their ability to challenge their imprisonment, right? So they're going to lock you up for good, right? This is according to multiple people with knowledge of the was it del- deliberations, like it. So yeah, they deliberating, right, to bring in that martial law, Jacob's trouble, right, to label you, the T word, enemy combatants, right, and that's really going to ultimately sort of was I was going to say transliterate, but yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, in other words, and it's going to they said the transfer of wealth, but it's going to be the transfer of the T word, right? Because yeah, they may go after the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, but eventually even you Edomites, right? They're gonna call you domestic T words, right? So they're gonna call you what is it called? They they also call them religious fanatics, right? Yeah. So this is Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travaileth with child, right? Have a man ever had a baby? No, it's never happened. You can come with your falsely so-called madness, but it's still never happened, right? It's never happened. A man cannot have a baby. You know what I mean? Wherefore doeth I see every man with his hands on his loins, right, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness, man. Fear, shame, right? Regret, right? Yeah. So this is Second Esdras chapter 15 verse 7. A man shall desire to go into a city, which is basically martial law, right? But not just martial law, right? You're gonna have this separatism, right? You're gonna have people are gonna be joined unto their own people, right? These are the times of Jacob's trouble, right? Yeah, I'm gonna come here. It's Isaiah chapter 13, verse 14, and it shall be as chase roe, right? It's gonna come a time that what people basically the purge, right? Now we was the brothers was speaking about the what's it called, the purge forever, and he was showing the spiritual attributes of the purge forever, right? Because it showed you that a Jake helped the Issacharite woman, right, which would be basically the Southern Kingdom and the Northern Kingdom, and then you had a Gadite that was in there that was helping them later on. I mean, I don't know where the Jake went. I don't know if they got him or something, but at the end they didn't show the Jake, but they showed how Jake helped Issachar, right? And they showed Gad basically helping Issachar, right? And then even there was like a white couple who could have easily turned on them because they said you just kill the brownies, you kill the darkies, kill the brownies, you kill them and we'll let you live. and the dude said "F you." He looked like it looked was perceived to be an Edomite, but the way he "F you" and basically fought with Issachar, right? Probably shows that this guy wasn't an Edomite. He was most likely an Israelite, right? And it's showing you how the tribes are going to come together in this time where it's going to be uh, anarchy, right? Right? And it shall be as Chase Row and as a sheep that no man taketh up, right? It's talking about this place, America. No one's coming to help you or protect you. It's gonna be like the purge. No one's coming to help this place at all, right? And it's gonna be its complete utter and total demise to this place. Like right? It says they shall every man turn to his own people. See, we're coming to the time you're gonna have to turn and be with your own people, man. Right? So when it's talking about a man should desire to go into a city and should not be able, yeah, that's going into martial law, but it's also going into what? Some people you're gonna have to turn and be with your own people, man. Right? And you may not be able to cross over here and do all this. And hey, man, I mean, you got sundown towns now, right? You got hoods and barrios. You can't do that now, right? Talk to people in LA and stuff like that. Hey, like, man, I live in this hood, and if I go this way, it's an enemy. It's another hood. If I go this way, they go east, north, west, south, right? All four corners. Either way, it's another neighborhood that they can end up being killed in. So how much more in the time that you're gonna have to join until every man shall turn to his own people and flee everyone to his own land. So a lot of people are going to be leaving America, going back to their own countries. But the ones that stay here, the ones who here and ones who can't leave at all anyway, they're going to join. They're going to join to their own people, right? You still got a lot of Issacharites and Ephraimites and Manassites who still got that that Stockholm syndrome. They still want to be down with the self-proclaimed so-called white men, and then even when they realized, oh, the Edomites against them, they still don't want to be down with Jake, because the last thing they want to be is a so-called, N-word, right? So they're gonna cleave to their own. Then you got the Jakes who realize, hey, we are the same people. You got the Ephraimites, the Manassites, the Issacharites, and the Gadites that's gonna know, hey, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, we are a family. We're gonna have to team together, because that, matter of fact, we're gonna get into that, right? Because that's gonna be Bible prophecy. Fuck what a few bug out niggas got to think, and they're gonna be, trying to do their own thing. No, we're Spanish, right? You're a language. We're Latino. Well, Latin is still, if you're that's still a language, right? So you're calling yourself a language instead of calling yourself Yasha Allah, right? Instead of realizing the Lord gave you something greater than calling your name, calling yourself a language, right? So, but all these things must come to pass, right? So, and it says, everyone that is found shall be thrust through. So it's going to be a lot of killing, murdering, right? This is the time that we're fastly approaching, right? Everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. And who is that? Esau, Edom, right? Because Jake is going to join together, man. So-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian are going to join together, hey, and they're gonna fight the oppressor, man. They're gonna fight the system that's always came against us, always separating us, right? By hoods and vadios and reservations. Hey, the Lord said that you're gonna come together, right? Even if you are the 2/3, you're gonna come together and fight against the oppressor, man, right? And anybody found joined into the oppressor, right, or vice versa, if one of the oppressors find you and you're somewhere where you caught lacking, Esau and his whatever constituents are going to kill you, right? Which you might have a bunch of so-called Jakes that's over there to help them, so-called Hispanic, so-called Native American, so-called Black, right? Which some of them may just be tares. It may look like our people, and then some of them may be our people, right? But there's a such thing as called chocolate covered Edomites, right? That's the reason why they're down, right? You'll see a real dark so-called black man, or a real dark so-called Mexican man, and he got a swastika, and he's basically repping white power. Why do you think that is? It's not just the ideology. A lot of them, it's in their spirit. They're really actually Edomites. Their father's father, grandfather, all the way back is an Edomite. It goes back to the self-proclaimed so-called white man. It's in their spirit. So that's why we don't get offended, man. It's all about the spirit, man. And then some jakes are just bugged out, right? We know that'll happen, but according to the Most High, man, he that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword, right? And it says, their children also shall be dashed into pieces before their eyes, right? Because they did that to us, right? Houses shall be spoiled, and their wives ravished, right? You know what that is, huh? You know, that's great. They're gonna be grabbed up. Things are really gonna look interesting in that day, right? Right? Because so this is Zechariah chapter 9, verse 12. Turn ye to the stronghold, right, which is Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, turn back to your nationality, right? The thing that's going to give you power from on high, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakahakodash. Ye prisoners of hope, right? And that's ultimately what we are, man. We have hope in Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, but we're also prisoners within this compound of America, Babylon the Great. Right, so our hope is to get out of these bodies, these chains of darkness, and also out of the place of our oppressor, man. Right, even to today, right, this very day, I do declare that I will render double unto thee. Right, so the things that the Lord has done to us, right? The Lord said, give to Esau double for all the evil that she has done. So that's the thing that's about to happen, man. Right? And with that comes the spoils, right? It comes the things that they have laid up treasures for the last days, really for the righteous to put it on. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, right, which is the southern kingdom, right? The you know how they were showing the Haitians, and they want to make them the T word, right? Fill the bowl with Ephraim, right? Which that's the northern kingdom. You see what they're saying about the northern kingdom. They want to make them enemy combatants, right? And raise up thy sons, O Zion, right? Which that's all 12 tribes, right? Starting with the Judites, right? The so-called African American, known as African American, but which really is the tribe of Judah, right? They're gonna get roused up, man. Things are gonna happen, right? They're gonna cop is gonna pull over the for the last time. You're gonna pull over and shoot or beat somebody unlawfully, or something's gonna happen, man. Something's gonna spark this, man, and it's gonna raise up the sons of Zion, right? Starting with the Judite, and then all 12 tribes are gonna come, hey, and they're gonna be like Chase Rowe, man, right? They're gonna be Chase Rowe against the sons of Greece, right? And we know who those sons are, right? The self-proclaimed so-called white man, man. The sons of Greece, man. This place, the oppressor, man. The colonizer, right? 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 The conquistador, right? The conqueror, right? You're the conqueror. Yeah, well, you're the conqueror's about to get conquered, right? So that's why I said those other bug out jakes who's gonna be in their own things and their own feelings. Hey, they're gonna fastly realize, especially once the Lord gives the elect, the hopeful elect, to being the elect, right? So the hope, right? That's what it is, giving them that spiritual power. Hey, man, you jakes and you other nations, you heathens, especially starting with Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed, hey, you're gonna be in trouble. It says, and made thee as a sword of a mighty man. See, I'm gonna make us, Lord willing. I'm one of that. Lord willing, I want to be part of that number, especially to thrash those who are unrighteous with their unrighteous decrees and madness, showing forth, trying to falsely accuse us, being the devil. That's what devil means, the false accuser, right? You know what I mean? You know. But yeah, come back here. Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right. So a lot of that's going to be um, basically people going to cleaving to their own people, and you may not be able to go over there because you're not their people. You're gonna be chased row. Right. Either which way. Right. Cleaving to their own people, but the Lord's going to raise up the sons of Zion and make them that threshing sword, man, a mighty sword, right? Giving them spiritual powers, man. So, hey, man, hey, it's gonna be one heck of a day, man. That's definitely a day. Hey, that's a day like none other, right? Just that in itself, right? I never thought of it like that, but yeah, it just hit me right there. Yeah, because once Jake had that spiritual, there haven't been a day like that with Jake just running through these, whew, bro. Hey, we're gonna need it too, because what's this? Because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. See, hey, things are gonna happen, man, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. See, so when you're in a time, right? Going back to what I was, this ultimately what I was precepting that for, was that when it said, "Have you ever seen a man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail?" Right? Because that's basically a man being afraid, and hey, the Lord make Zion, right, come together. Hey, man, every they're gonna be afraid. There's gonna be some things that's gonna happen ultimately, right? The Lord says it's gonna be wild beasts, newly created beasts. It's gonna be all sorts of things that's gonna be out here. That's hey, we haven't seen a day like this, man. They got drones, they got laser weapons, they got killer robots. Hey, they about to unleash a whole lot of things out here in these last days, man. Right? It's gonna be a fearful day, man. But that's why we're trying to lay up uh, spiritual treasures in high places, Lord willing. It says, "A man shall have no pity." See, and that's the time we're going to come into. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword. Right? See, and spoil their goods. Right? To take them. Spoil means to take it. Just come up. Hey, give me that. It was it's a fool. What's it? Give me that fool. It's a full-time jack move. Right? Right? Or a MOP. Annie up. Right? Gap that foot. Right? So we hey, it's that time, man. Hey, like a water, like a bread, like a food, things. Hey, they're gonna need that. You have to come up off of that. You ain't with the right people, and your little crew ain't strong enough, right? They show you in that in all these movies or these TV shows, right? What happened in what is it The Walking Dead? If that little crew, your crew wasn't strong enough, the other came over and devoured you and took over all your stuff, or made them pay tribute, right? That's the thing that's gonna be happening. Except for I don't think they're gonna make you pay tribute in this day, because that's what they're saying. They said they're gonna have no pity, right? They ain't even making you pay tribute. That's like having some type of mercy. This is no pity. They shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of what? A lack of bread and great tribulations, man. The Lord's about to bring a, the Lord, this is the time of trials, tribulations. The Lord said it's the hour of temptation, right? Yeah, basically it said men should be afraid. That's what the Lord said. Have you ever seen a man? What is a man that travaileth with child? Right. So what? Yeah, yeah. Says, yeah. Why do I see? It was. I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Man, they're gonna be afraid, man. Even a man should be afraid, right? Alas, for the day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Yaquab's trouble, right? Which is what they call Jacob, but there's no letter J's, but you know, for you know, but it's Yaquab, but for whatever. Just it's Jacob right here on the thing, because J is only 4,500 years old. It didn't exist, but a lot of us, I don't know a whole lot of Hebrew, so we have to, we got to work with what we have, right? But we got to work with what we have as far as truth too. So we got to tell the truth. The letter J is only 4,500 years old. That's not a real thing, right? But his name is Yaiquab, and you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are the children of Yaiquab, or Yasha'Allah, right? Meaning he, Yah, meaning he, was it Shar, Shar, yeah, Yar, Shar, Prince, Allah, God, Yah, Shar, Allah, right? Yah, he, Shar, Prince, Allah is power, really, really, but God, right? You're the Prince of God, but then a lot of you don't act like that. You got Stockholm syndrome, or you just absolute degenerates. But at the end of the day, what punishment is going to go out? Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Who was that? The elect, man. Those who come back to the power, to the ordinance of the scriptures of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, right? Says if right, because it's not of you, it's not of anyone. It's really all a gift, man. It's all something that the Lord orchestrated magnificently, in the beginning, right? His divine intervention, his divine nature decided who was going to put, like I said, Lord, that's why you're going to say, Lord willing, right? If for it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Shai, Basham Rakakadash of hosts, which means armies, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, right? Because the Lord's going to release the elect, man. You're gonna give them that new body, get out of this chains of darkness, out of this place, Babylon the Great, impute them with righteousness, right? Give them the wa, right? It says off thy neck, and will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves, right? We no longer going to go into slavery under all these other nations, right? Serve themselves of him, right? Which is talking about Israel, right? Which is us, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. We're never going to be oppressed ever again. But the Lord is going to raise up the sons of Zion against the sons of Greece, man. So this is that time, man, right? And you can see it's picking up, because that's why they want to call you the T word, and that's why they want to call you enemy combatants, right? Because they know what it is, man, right? And they have to go after the jakes that's wicked, because if you put forth your hand to do wickedness, they can get you, right? Matter of fact, let's get that, because they have to do it that way in order to try to get the men of the Lord. They have to start from that way. They got to try to go through the back door, but the Lord said if you call it some other way, then you're just a robber and a thief. You can't try to come through the back door and think everything's good. Nah, but that's how he's the devil. What do you think, right? Yeah. So this is Psalms 125 and 3, for the rod of the wicked, right? And that's Esau. That's what he's doing. That's what we're seeing in these news articles. They're setting the stage. Oh yeah, by the way, those Haitian gangs, they're the T word. Oh, these Mexican gangs, oh, they're enemy combatants, and we got to figure out a way where we can just throw them in jail, and they won't be able to challenge. They don't want you to challenge, but how can that be? Even if you are for a foreign country, the whole point of America being America is that you're supposed to get a fair trial or fair shake, which we know that haven't really happened. We understand that, but that's the point that you're saying that you are, right? Somehow Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light, and now he wants to throw that whole part of the light away, right? He don't want to be known as an angel of light no more. Well, at least enough to get his foot in the door, right? And then he's going to show you the horns, and that's ultimately what he's getting ready to do. He's putting under the guise as protection and justice, right? But it's really just them. The Lord put him in power, man, for now. But as you've seen, we just read that the sons of Zion is going to go destroy the sons of old Greece, the sons of Greece. right? The Lord can give us full victory over them, right? But they got to try to come in through the back door, right? In order to try to come at the men of the Lord. So that's what it says. The rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the light. The rod, it's like the rod of the wicked shall not rest upon the lot of the righteous. See, when we're right, they can't touch us. So they know that. They know that they cannot touch us. Lest the righteous put forth their hand to do iniquity. And that's you other Israelites, man. That's the MS-13, the what is it called? 18th, something about 18th, something. I forgot the name of the hood, but it's supposed to be a 18th Street or something like that. But they supposed to be some, bro, like some hardcore gangsters, man. They go at it, right? You got the cartels, Sinaloa cartels. You got all these different cartels, and they go hard. And then you got the gangs and Haiti, the gangs here in L.A., Chicago, New York, man. These all of you gonna get wrapped up in being the T word, right? Or enemy combatants. But they have to do that because you guys are the ones who commit the iniquity. Now their rod can rest upon you because you're the ones who's actually doing wickedness, right? Because it says, do good, O Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, unto those that be good. See? You're going to be good to those who be good, and to them that are upright in their hearts, right? Which is their mind, la'ab, their minds, right? Having the right mentality. And how do you get that? The washing of the water by the word, right? Right? Cleansing your mind, right? Right. So this is Ezekiel chapter 9, verse 4. And Yahweh said unto him, go through the midst of the city, which is the angel, right? To go to the midst of the city, and through the midst of Jerusalem, which that's you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, wherever you're at, no matter where you're at in the world, you are Jerusalem. You're the Israelites. We're people before place, right? And set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry, right? Those that have the mind right, upright, the upright mind, right? The men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of us. See, the men that have the upright mind will be sighing and crying. You're gonna complain to the Lord, this is unrighteous, unholy, right? Right? This is unforgiving, right? Unmerciful. Devil is ruling over us, even our own people. They're unmerciful, right? Right? I can't go to this hood or this hood. We're all suffering from the same oppression, right? You'll rob from me to, what does it say, rob from Peter to give to Paul, right? It's one of those, the type of things that do. And then guess what? You're still broke because you're slave to the lender, right? And that's what this is. It's this debt system that's going to push forth the Karax, Grapho, right? Everyone's in so-called indebted to the international bankers, which that's how they're going to basically portray themselves to be the Most High, right? Because we're all indebted to the Most High, right? Even though it tells you, what it says of, if you try to keep the whole law, you're a debtor to keep the whole law. But we're a debtor anyway, regardless, man. We didn't make this world. We didn't send our only begotten Son to die for us, right? The Lord did. Yahweh did, man. He sent His only Son, so we're a debtor regardless. But it's a way you do it, man, in truth and sincerity and faith, and the power of the Father and His Son, right? And thinking upright thoughts, right? Changing your ways. Truly, well, it has to be by the Spirit, man, because it was the Lord that quickeneth, and the flesh profiteth nothing. I mean, that's the only thing I can say, because there's really no other way to say it, right? It says, and to the others He said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. See, those that are wicked, you wicked Israelites, when you put forth your hand to do wicked, it's going to allow the rod of the wicked to come upon you. And so the Lord is saying, yeah, hey, telling the angel, yeah, let that one die, let that one die, get him, get her. Oh yeah, that little baby, ain't innocent either. Go on and get him, right? Matter of fact, it's going to tell you that, and right, it says in my hearing, after him. Wait, no, let me do it again. It says, and to the others he said, in my hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Right. So after the elect is sealed, right, with the tawa, right, exemption, right. He said, go through the rest of the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare what? Neither have pity. And did it not say they should not have pity upon their neighbor? And this is really just the angel speaking into the minds of men that's going to have men kill each other, which in turn, it'll even be angels. Pretty soon, angels will be here to kill, right? There's going to be actual angels killing people. So, but before that happens, the Lord is going to be allowing men to kill each other, right? Right? And have no pity, right? So let me go to that part because I wanted to emphasize that mark, right? Set the mark upon their forehead, right? Yeah. So basically, here we are in the Ezekiel 9:4, right, for the translation. So we're going to go through that and translate that and give us a little bit more understanding, right, for that mark. Tav.
Strong's H8420. Tav. Tav.
Right, they call it Tav, but under the Paleo Hebrew, it's Tawa. The Tawa. And it says, yeah, desire, mark as a sign of what? Of exemption from judgment. So that's ultimately what it is, man. It's that mark that the elect is going to have a spiritual mark, right? Not a physical mark, spiritual mark, which because the father is what? Spiritual, but Esau is carnal, right? So he's going to have a carnal mark. He's talking about everything being his technocracy. He's calling this the digital age, which age meaning what? World, right? And they're calling it a new age digital, right? Right? If you get what I'm saying, if you're picking up what I'm laying down, right? Yeah. So basically, that's what it is. So, um, yeah, yeah. So it's basically a mark of exemption. Yeah. So basically, going back here, and that's what the Lord's telling the angels. Tell them to put the thoughts in their mind, basically, and have no pity, right? Have no pity upon their neighbor. That's the thing that's going to happen. Slay utterly, old and young, both maid and little children, and women, right? So you think, oh, I'm just a little kid. I'm just a little girl. That's just a little baby. Don't do no. Even the little babies. Even the woman. I'm a woman. You ain't never supposed to put your hands on no woman. Right? Hey, slay utterly. Old, right? You ain't supposed to do that to an old person, right? But the Lord, a judgment is going to happen, man. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children. So young women, you what, 10, 12, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hey, man, hey, you got to get slain too, right? And children. So all the way from a baby, toddler to whatever, right? And women, but come not near any man upon whom the mark what of exemption, right? Right? Exemption from judgment. They don't. They for whatever reason the Lord already put it in. They don't get the judgment as everybody because they well no one goes unpunished. So we got the judgments through measure, right? Instead of getting the full on blunt trauma of it, right? Because the Lord said that you're gonna know it by death, by pain, right? You should know it by death, by pain. You're gonna hey, matter of fact, maybe I might have to get that. See, yeah, both women, yeah, and women and but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary, right? Dealing with those who say that they're men of the Lord. We're the prophets of the Lord. Hey, man, it comes with a heavy price, man. Then they began at the ancient men, which were before the house, right? You're so-called praying, you're so-called saying that you're this or that, you're that and this, right? Before the house, right? You're saying you represent Israel, right? Or you're a man. I'm a man of God, right? And it says, and he said unto them, defile the house, right? And you know what happens with a defiled house. The Lord said you have to destroy the whole entire house. It's defiled. Defile the house and fill the courts with the slain, right? Yeah, that means you got to destroy it, because dead bodies mean it's defiled. You got to destroy the whole house. You got to destroy everything. Fill the courts with the slain and go forth. And they went forth and slew in the city. And that city is what? Babylon the Great. The city of that harlot, that great city, Babylon the Great, the daughter of Babylon, right? Yeah. So I said I was going to get it because I was thinking about that, just to show you, because we have to get out of this prison, right? Starting with your mind, but also we trying to get the new bodies. So this is 2 Peter 2:4. For if the power, the Most High Yahweh, right, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakadas, spare not the angels, which they go back to Genesis to talk about the Nephilim, right? The Nephilim actually it just means the fallen ones, which talking about the the sons of God, basically, right? Which would have been us, right? Which would be Yasha Allah, which is the same thing as being the sons of God. Yah meaning he, Shar meaning prince, Allah meaning God. So like basically we're sons or princes of God or the Most High, right? So we're same thing. So he spared not the angels, right? And we were meant to rule over the world, right? Going back into the beginning of in the garden, because it wasn't just Adam by himself. There was his nation, right? Which the sons of God, right? Right? Because people say Adamites for lack of a better word, but the better word would be sons of God, right? Right? Because yeah, I'm not going. That's a whole. So that's a thing for another time. I'm gonna just continue on. It says which well, I'll at least show this though real quick. Yeah. So yeah, just to show you, because I'm going back into the word Nephilim, which basically means the fallen ones, which were the sons of God, which were basically us, right? Through the reincarnation, regeneration, that will be us, so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, the Israelites, right? That would have been us, right? So just to prove that, so right here's the same verse, 2 Peter 2:4, right? Going down to translation, God, right? And the Greek is theos.
Strong's G 2316. Theos. Theos.
Theos or theos, right? Theos. Of a certain. See, of an uncertain affinity, a deity, especially with the supreme divine divinity, right? Which would be an angel, right? So that was us, on earth we fell, right? Because other angels are like actual angels in heaven are completely obedient to the Most High. They can't go off, right? They will never go off, right? This is a goddess. There's no such thing as goddess. That's a made up thing. There are gods, right? Plural, but there's no goddesses, right? Because even when you deal with Esau's madness with goddesses, a lot of their goddesses are basically like hermaphrodite. They're intersexual. I mean, right? Satan has both sex. He has a female and a male part, right? You go into what is it the what's the thing for medicine? Can't think of his name right now. But basically, it's a male and a female, right? Hold on, let me. Right. So this is Asclepius. I think if I'm saying it right. It says Greco-Roman, right? Showing you where empire we living in, right? Even now, that was then and even now. Greco-Roman god of medicine, right? Son of Apollo, god of healing, truth, and prophecy, right? And that's Esau. That's what he's trying to do now. And basically, by putting forth those little articles, oh yeah, by the way, they're the T word. By the way, they're combatants, enemy combatants, which is basically another way of saying the T word, right? So he's prophesied in a way, just like he pushed forth the CV19, right, dealing with the medicine, and this is what they're doing, right? That's the Asclepius, right? And it says and the mortal princess Caranus, the centaur Caranus taught him the art of healing. At length Zeus, the king of gods, afraid that Asclepius might render all men immortal, slew him with a thunderbolt. See, just a bunch of nonsense, right? But this is what they're into, right? Yeah. So yeah, I was trying to find it because I've noticed Asclepius was supposed to be like a man and a woman, right? Because that's why if you go to certain hospitals, it'll be a woman with the stick that has the serpent around it, right? Because that's ultimately what it is. See, like you see how he has a serpent around the stick. He has a serpent around the stick, right? Um, yeah. I mean, I know I did a lesson before about that, and it was basically the things like interchangeable. It could be Asclepius could be a man or a woman, right? Which means that, but it says, but I put both man and woman. And it said no. Asclepius is typically portrayed as a male figure in Greek mythology. He is a god of healing and medicine. He is his I don't know how to say that. Let's see. Iconography, Salakia, usually depicts him as a bearded, mature man, while there are instances of hermaphroditist figures in Greek mythology, like Hermaphroditus. Yeah, right. Asclepius is not one of them, right? So it's trying to say that he's not one, but there are a lot of hermaphroditus um, figures in that thing in that world. So I thought this was one of them, but that you know went down this little rabbit hole. Uh, yeah. So basically, I'm come back here because I just did all that just to explain that basically under our thing, there's no such thing as goddesses, right? Under their thing, they have understanding of you know hermaphrodites or whatever, under their thing. They say that guy wasn't, but I believe it is because when you go to a certain hospital, the thing's a woman and she's holding the staff with the serpent around it, which when certain things say that he had daughters, so it could be supposed to represent his daughters or something. But regardless, right? Under our thing, they're only men are the 144,000. Only men right, are angels, right? There's no female, there's no goddesses. That's basically the point I was trying to get into, but I went down a rabbit hole. That name deities, divinities. Let's get to the point because I already went a long way. Christ, second person of the Trinity. There's no such thing as Trinity. They're two separate persons, right? Two separate beings, right? Spoken of, God, true. Basically, that's what it is. See, it'll be his counsels in interests, things due to him. Let's see, where's it at? I seen it here. Oh yeah, what? Yeah, this is whatever can in any respect be like unto God, which would be us on earth. We're the physical counterparts of the Most High on earth, right? Yeah, resembles him in every way, right? And that's ultimately what we do when we keep the law the right way, right? Which at that time there was one time thing we kept the law perfect, right? When you go back to the Garden of Eden, we kept the law perfect. But then the fall of Adam and Eve, which really which is all of us, right? Which are the sons of God, right? Which is magistrates and judges. See, right? Matter of fact, let's go into that. Show you, because that's basically what's talking about us. See, magistrate, a civil officer, right? See, and that's the way we was meant to be over the whole entire earth. That's why the Lord says, he told Adam to basically subdue the whole earth, right? Which that's what's going to happen again. The second coming of Adam is part of him making war with the nation, is subdue the world, and then we're going to populate, right? The 2/3 are going to come back through the elect, right? Lay judge who administrates the law, right? And that will be it. And that's how we were meant to be set up. We were meant to be set up from the beginning to be the ones who push the law throughout the whole world. But through the fall, basically we had to go through this whole journey to do that very thing, right? But this time we're going to appreciate it, because we had to suffer to really appreciate righteousness. Right. So I'm just going to Genesis. I didn't want to do all this, but since I did all that anyway, let's go ahead and do it this way. Finish it up. So this is Genesis 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also after this, when the sons of God, right? See, that's what they are, the sons of God, which go back to Adam, right? Oh, man, I might have to do it because I didn't want to do it, but let me do this real quick. Yeah, so this basically I'm just cut it to the thing just to show you. Starts with Yahushai. So Yahushai himself being about 30 years of age, being as suppose the son of Joseph, which was the son of Helna, right? Hela, yeah, right. So just skip down to the point, and then it goes through all the the men, the generations, Jacob to Isaac to Abraham, right? Right, to all the men, right? Then it tells you right here, which was the son of Enos, the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of the power, right? So showing we went all the way back to that period, showing you that that's us, right? Because Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, his lineage is a Hebrew Israelites, and he's showing that as a Hebrew Israelite, our lineage goes back all the way back to Adam, back when they were the sons of God, to the beginning, right? See, being that said, when the sons of God, right, get back to this, when the sons of God were having sexual relations with the daughters of humankind, I guess I can go with that, but yeah, the sons, yeah, because you got the three classifications of men: the sons of the righteous, or the sons of God, the sons of the men, and then the sons of the wicked, right? Which will be the Cain and his lineage, which in turn he comes back as Esau in the reincarnation, right? And who gave birth to their children. They were the mighty heroes of old, the famous men, right? See, and that just, Nephilim just means renowned, or like famous, basically, in a sense. They were known, right? Let's go ahead. Not that one. Go back. I want to go into go to this little translation right here.
Strong's H 5303. Nephil. Nephil.
See, Nephil, see, giants, Nephilim, right? Which, for whatever reason, don't give you too much here, but when you go into the root, it does. And
Strong's H 5307. Nephal.
Nephal, right? To fall, lie, cast down, fall, to fall, right? To fall upon, fall away, right? And that's all it basically means. It fall, right? We were the renowned, named people to fall, right? Which basically gave us that the chains of darkness because of the fall. Yeah, so basically, went through this whole rabbit hole. That's why I didn't want to open it up. But I mean, I said something, so I had to go through that whole little step. So it says, 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 4, and if the power of the Most High Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, spare not the angels, or basically go back to Nephilim, or the giants, right? However you want to say it, that sinned, which was us, the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Indian, or the Israelites around the world, right? But cast them down, right? Which basically goes into Nephilim, means they got cast down, right? They fell, fallen, fall upon, fell, cast down, cast them down, right? Nephilim, that's where you get the word Nephilim, means to be cast down to hell, right? And that's where we're at right here. Hell, right here. Babylon the Great, it's hell, right? But the bodies, mostly it's talking about the body, is this bodies that we live in, right? Because we're subject to sin now, right? And it says, and deliver them to the chain, right? See, and deliver them to the chains of darkness, which are these bodies, to be reserved until the day of judgment. And that's what we're waiting on. We're waiting on to get out of this body, right? So that we don't sin anymore. But then that's where the Lord is going to give us, that what do you call it? That supernatural power, man. And it's going to be hell. It's going to be hell on earth as that goes, man. Jacob's trouble is going to be everybody's trouble, right? People are going to get ravished, killed, murdered. Things are going to happen, man. Wild beasts, crazy things, man. Things we never thought that was even in existence. You're going to see Godzilla, which is Leviathan. You're going to see, I don't know, Bigfoot. You're going to see some things that people laughed and scoffed at, but the things were real, and they're terrifying to feast your eyes upon, to behold, right? So, hey, man. Yeah, so this is Zechariah chapter 14 verse 1 right here at the top. It says, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai will battle Jerusalem foes, right? Foes meaning enemies, right? And it says, behold, which means feast your eyes to look, pay attention. It says, the day of Yahweh cometh, thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee, right? And I will gather the nations against Jerusalem, and all these different people are going to well, they don't like us anyway, but this would be their time, when all hell is breaking loose. Lawlessness, it'd be their chance to come against us. So, but the Lord is allowing all these things to happen, right? Against Jerusalem to the battle, and the city, right? The Babylon, right, shall be taken, and the houses raffled, and what? And the women ravished, right? And it tells you right there, right? Women great, right? Then it says, this one says, then half the city will go into exile, right? Which a lot of people, there's a lot of concentration camps, a lot of I just heard about Trump wanted to build was it the prison that's outside of San Francisco, uh Alcatraz, Slovakia, yeah, just remember Alcatraz. He wants to rebuild Alcatraz into a prison because I guess they say because people were complaining about sending people to El Salvador and all these other stuff, all these other places, and Guantanamo Bay, which they're gonna do that anyway. They're still gonna send certain Jakes, certain are gonna go to Guantanamo Bay. You're gonna go to El Salvador, but this is just to appease the people for now, right? So he's talking about building up Alcatraz for a facility, right? So a lot of you are gonna go into these. They got these different concentration camps all over the world, right? And mainly here in the Americas, out in was it Alaska. They got pretty much all over America though. But you got these certain places that they'll take you somewhere and torture you, whatever. And that's the thing you about to go. You about to be taken away. It says in the other half of the city exiled, and this one says in the half of the city shall go forth into captivity, right? Which means you're gonna get grabbed up, right? And the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. It says that then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against the nations, right? As when he fought in the day of the battle, right? So yeah, Yahushai, the second coming of Yahushai is about to be here. So Jacob's trouble. I mean, it's going to be a heavy day, man, right? Because this is the point of the time that the Lord is going to lift up a standard. But we're going to go through a lot of things, man, on both sides, man. Jake, a lot of you're gonna put forth your hand to do wickedness, and the rod of the wicked is going to be upon you, right? Then shall Yahweh Bashem Shai go to battle and fight against those nations, just as he fought battles in ancient times, right? See, yeah. And what did he do in Egypt, man? He sent forth his son Yahweh Shai and that fathership, and covered us a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, which was the lights, the illuminated lights from the chariots that guided us through the night. So that was actually Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is that death angel, whether you know it or not. It says, and his feet shall stand in the day upon the Mount of Olives, which when you believe it's yeah, because this is basically talking about Yahweh Shai, talking about when he returned, because before he left, when he left, he was speaking to the disciples on Mount Olive, and they said that was the same way he was going to return. So this is talking about the second coming, a Mount Olive which lie in the east of Jerusalem, Mount Olive, which is before Jerusalem on the east. The Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof, right? And it will split in half from east to west, right? It was on that one. It says towards the east and towards the west, towards the west, yeah. And there shall be a very great valley, right? Which is talking the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. The valley of decision, what most people say. But there's the mountain of troops, right? Dead troops. That's what's going to be there. A bunch of dead troops. pile of dead men, right? That's what's going to happen there. This is half valley of mount of the mountain shall remove towards the north, and towards and half of it towards the south, right? And ye shall flee to the valley of the mountains, for the valley of mountains shall reach unto Azal. Yea, ye shall flee like as ye fled from before the earthquake in the days of Uzzah, the king of Judah, and Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Rakakadash shall come, and all saints with thee. Right? So, hey, that's the time. Hey, we're gonna get that body, man, bro. Right? Yeah. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 24. Then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to the power of the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai, even the Father, yeah, Yahweh, Abanawa, Yahweh, right? Even, yeah, Yahweh, yeah, Yahweh, Abanawa, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority and power, for he must reign, right? Because Esau's ruling. Esau's the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Till he put all enemies under his feet, right? So Esau must rule. The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death. So then we're gonna have so Esau's gonna destroy it, all these nations are gonna get destroyed, and then that last enemy that the Lord's gonna destroy is death, right? And it says going down, same chapter, 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 52, and in the moment, and in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trump shall sound, and the dead shall rise first. Shall rise, right? And the dead shall rise, uncorruptible, and we shall be changed. Right? Talking about that dead body, the bodies, from the dead body to our actual body, right? For the corrupt, for this corruption must put on incorruption, so we'll have an incorruptible body, and that mortal body, got to get dissolved, destroyed, and put on immortality, a body that they're gonna live forever, man. So when the Lord turns this thing up, man, each level is gonna go to a higher extent, to a higher level, man. The Lord's gonna turn up and turn us into, hey, man, all the way into the day that he comes, man. It's just gonna go, like I said, it's gonna go from glory to glory, bro, as the scripture says, right? Behold, listen, read that. I should have read that too. Skip up. It says, behold, I show you a mystery, but yeah. I behold, which means feast your eyes, look, pay attention. I show you a mystery. We must not all sleep. So everybody's not gonna die, right? Which some elect have already died, but some elect are still here. They're out there in the highways, the byways, prophesying, doing the digital epistle. So all of us are not gonna die, but we all shall be changed. And so that's the time that we're coming in, right? In this in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, right? No point intended, right? Right? Hey, then again, it might be, man. That's how the Lord like to do it. A normal omen, the Lord like to to ridicule you, right? So his name is Trump, and he undoubtedly is most likely going to be the last president. He's going to be the last Edomite to rule. Going to be the last time we're in captivity. So he'll be the last Trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the end and the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall rise incorruptible, and we shall be changed. Wow. For the corrupted must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality, man. So the Lord's gonna go from glory to glory to glory. And look, and all this is through Jacob's trouble. All this is through Jacob's trouble. The Lord's gonna pour out his spirit. You're gonna have that different thing. The Lord's gonna turn you to a sword. You're gonna tread down these Greeks, these Edomites, right? You're gonna have complete victory over these Edomites, man. Bro. But 2/3 are gonna have to perish though. But that's okay. The Lord already said, "Hey, you're gonna come back, right? Through the loins of the men of renown, right? So the fallen is gonna be risen again, right? We're gonna have that. We're gonna be renowned once again, right? We're gonna be back in that estate of being sons of the power, sons of God, man, and not just in name, but in deed, right? You're gonna see it. You're gonna see the spiritual capability, right? So with all that, I'm gonna give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well and do well. The elder apostles, bishops in Connecticut, the bishops, the preachers, the teachers, the evangelists, and the four winds preaching in truth and sincerity, risking your lives more now than ever, the hopeful elect. The elect, Shalom. To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel through your father and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To you sisters, your Akwathium, who listen and learn under your husband, which is your spiritual leader, with meekness and with silence. And Abba Kwam Yasharala.